What's up, guys? I want to tell you this story that I think a lot about, okay? It's a weird story. It's in the Old Testament, but just bear with me to the end, even if you've heard it, okay? It's about this guy named Jacob. And Jacob is traveling back to meet his brother. His brother and him have had a falling out because Jacob basically stole from his brother. But he's going back to meet him to see if his brother will forgive him. And he meets this guy down by a river. And you don't really get much background on the guy or why this happens, but they begin to wrestle. They start to fight, okay? And it's a very interesting story. And people will say that, this wasn't just a man. This was an angel or this was God or whatever. And that's fine. You can, hypothesize all you want. That's not the point of the story, okay? So please, with these stories of the Bible, don't get so caught up, or at least I don't get caught up in historical fact or fiction or whatever, right? I want to know, what's it trying to teach me? And this is a crazy story because, so Jacob wrestles with this guy who later we consider to be God. And Jacob wins. That's what's weird. So now maybe it was a tie. So they kind of get each other in a halt. But Jacob says, I'm not going to release you until you bless me. And so this God, blesses Jacob. But what's also interesting is basically Jacob gets injured during it, and he never walks the same again. He walks with a limp for the rest of his life. Or at least that's, kind of how the story goes, right? So this idea of wrestling God. So Jacob's name gets changed after they're done too. The guy renames Jacob. He calls him Israel, which means one who wrestles with God. And now when I was kind of researching some of this, it looked like some people think that the name Jacob means one who walks crookedly, which would be interesting if the afterwards, because after the fight he walked with a limp, right? But it's actually his name before the fight, because he wasn't like this straight up dude, right? I mean, he was stealing from his brother. He kind of lie, cheat, whatever he had to do to get ahead. That's what Jacob did. But we see Jacob's changing, right? He's kind of becoming a different person. And so he walks away from this fight, this struggle, with a new name and a new identity as one who struggles with God. And I feel like as a people, that's what we are, man. We struggle, but it's not against God. It's not against these circumstances in our life, but it's with. And it's okay to have questions. Questions aren't evil, all right? Faith isn't about not asking questions, or it's not about always having the right answers. Faith isn't about not having common sense. Faith isn't even about religion, okay? Faith isn't a way to make God love you or to get to heaven. Faith is something else. It's this feeling you have inside, this knowing without knowing. It's kindness over doctrine or ritual or habit. Faith is a peace. And I want you to know that whatever you're struggling with, it's okay. Because you're not alone. We struggle together. We wrestle with God. We don't understand why God is taking us in the directions we're going, right? We can't see the end game. And that's okay. You're not alone. We struggle together. Because life is struggle and it's growth. Sometimes it's after that struggle when the peace comes. But it's hard to see when you're in the thick of it, man. When you're in the middle of that wrestling match. But the idea is not to be defeated by the struggle. The idea is to struggle with, to go through, to go inside. in order to get to that other side, right? Where the peace is, where God wants you to be, because that's the side where your new name is, your new identity, a new mission for your life. See, you can change, but it's going to be a struggle. Remember, though, you're not wrestling against, you're wrestling with. In other words, God's actually on your side. And the thing that I really want you to remember is that no matter what, there's always hope. And maybe when you strip everything down and all you've got left are your track marks and your tears, I want you to remember there's still hope. Let's wrestle together, guys. Have a good day.